delinquency more likely in certain situations? Juveniles predisposed to delinquency still spend the majority of their time in non delinquent activities, but involvement in delinquent activities is heavily influenced by situational factors. So, altering those situations could reduce delinquency. And there's four main situations conducive to delinquency. Let's dive into those. So, situational strains include things like provocation by others. This is especially true for men when they attack other men with verbal or physical threats that are perceived as deliberate. So, this is obviously a source of strain because it's negative stimulus and threats to one's masculine status. This increases the likelihood for a violent response. Many of these offenders are not innocent victims of provocations by others. The offender may mistreat others and therefore elicit a negative reaction. Usually there's a series of verbal exchanges where the offender demands the victim apologizes, and if the victim refuses, a verbal exchange may escalate into violence. Other situational strains include a desperate need for money, threats to your autonomy, and a loss of positive stimuli. So there are things we can do to reduce crime by reducing these situational strains. So in some places they stagger bar closing hours so people enter the streets at different times. In Europe, where they've had trouble with violence at soccer games, they've separated rival soccer fans and tried to reduce waiting times both before and after games. Social learning theory and control theory suggests crime is most likely in situations where the benefit is high and the cost is seen as low. Benefits could be tangible, things like money or property, or intangible, like approval from others or thrills and excitement. Costs include the likelihood of being caught and punished, as well as guilt or bad feelings. When juveniles calculate the benefits and costs, most of them are not rational in the sense that they think about everything. Most give limited thoughts to benefits and costs, so they don't engage in delinquency in presence of parents or police. They tend to attack smaller, weaker targets. But the degree of consideration they give to any one situation really varies. Situational features that influence costs and benefits include: is there an attractive target? Are guardians present? And are delinquent peers present? Attractive targets for property are things that are visible and accessible, valuable and easy to move. For a person, someone who might possess valuable items and is unlikely to resist. And one of the things we can do then is try to make targets less attractive by reducing the value, engaging in target hardening techniques, increasing the ability of a person to offer resistance, and increasing moral costs of committing crimes. Now, the absence of capable guardians, we often think of police, but police are not the only capable guardians. Teachers and neighbors are much more common as our parents. So we can put additional staffing in stores, locate a cashier in the middle of a store rather than to the side, locate stores, for example, in areas where other businesses are open during evenings. Now, how do our delinquent peers play a role here? They reduce the cost of delinquency, and they increase the anticipated benefits and reinforcement of delinquent behavior. So let's summarize this. Intensified sensitivity to strain, reduced perceptions of cost, and increased perceptions of benefits of delinquency all play a role. Of course, the use of alcohol and drugs also plays a role. It reduces our ability to engage in legal coping and reduces awareness of and concerns with costs of delinquency. Finally, that presence of attractive targets, the absence of guardians, and the presence of delinquent peers also increases that delinquent response. There are also factors that increase the likelihood for someone who's predisposed to delinquency to encounter situations conducive to that. Now, sometimes they just actively seek it out, and other times during their routine activities, they may encounter these situations. So just in your day-to-day activities. Those who actively seek out situations may be searching for homes to burglarize or individuals to rob. They tend to search in convenient, familiar places and select targets near homes and places that are frequently traveled. In terms of routine activity, the times that are highest risk for kids are unstructured, unsupervised activities. Hanging out, going to parties, riding around in cars where there's no capable guardians present. In terms of time of day, on school days, violence most often occurs during the hours immediately after school, and on non-school days between 8 and 10 p.m. Public settings are more likely to have these opportunities than private settings, and any setting that brings kids together without capable guardians. Now, there's different things that influence our routine activities. Our age and our sex do. So, adolescents are the most likely age group that engages in unstructured, unsupervised activity, and boys are more likely to do so than girls. Changes in our society play a role too. Most parents are working, there's a lot of single parent families, and multi-car households have decreased parental supervision. We also have lightweight, valuable products, computers, smartwatches, phones, etc. So, here's a summary of situational features that increase the likelihood of a delinquent response: sensitivity to strain, costs of coping with delinquency are low and the benefits are high, use of alcohol or drugs, presence of attractive guardians and delinquent peers, attractive targets in delinquent peers, and an absence of capable guardians.